Okay, every week I'm happy when I just barely make it on time, which is the case again this week. And you know the drill. I usually spend at least the first 30 seconds staring blankly into space like I'm doing. I'm going to put something down in the comments if I can. And would you add your comments at your earliest convenience? Just let me know you're there. Say hi in the chat room. It's the greatest chat room going, in my opinion. We have some stellar participants all the time. And then there's people, hi Raj, hi Arlene. Raj and I go back to high school where before school started, he used to have Crawdaddy magazine. And he'd either loan it to me or show it to me. And that was the basis for a lifelong friendship. Was it Crawdaddy? Am I right, Roger, in that? Crawdaddy was like a better music magazine than Rolling Stone. So I got songs, I got stories. It's hot in here, so I might have to turn the air conditioning back on. I'll see how I feel. Jamie Flynn, are you in the house yet? You might be gigging tonight. Jamie's the busiest guy in showbiz. Laura. Hi, Laura. Hi, Mike. Hi, Nancy, in case you're nearby. Roger, Mike Frost just impossibly one-upped you because Mike and I have known each other, I think, since kindergarten. So it doesn't go back any farther. I had a nice chat with Livingston Taylor right before I went on the air. We talked about songwriting and melody writing, and I surprised him with a thing that I'm hoping to surprise you with tonight, which is an examination of a songwriter that I guarantee you have heard, but you may not know his name. And his name is Roger Nichols. And what an interesting guy and great songwriter. And I'm going to sing one of his songs tonight. Do you know that he wrote We've Only Just Begun as a bank commercial? And Richard Carpenter heard that bank commercial, saw that bank commercial, and contacted him and said, is that a whole song or just a commercial? He said, it's not a whole song. He said, finish the song. We want to record it. So, you know, it was like the number one record of the year or something and won a Grammy and all that. Amy, hi. Boy, this is already turning into a red letter night, if I can use that terminology. I'm going to tell you stories tonight. I'm going to tell you about Garbo, the garbage-eating raccoon that has come into our lives. And it's very bittersweet because I love him or her. She might be a pregnant mom, and so she's been eating out of the garbage and strewing it all over the place. And the other night I came out and she looked down, and there he or she was. I'm going to call him he for now. And he looks up at me, and I went, hey, get out of here. And he just kind of sauntered away like this. He didn't run. He was like, okay, dude, just mellow out, will you? And then that same night, he came up to the back door and just sat there looking at me like, hey, can you help a fella out here? And I'm like, oh, I would love to. He looked like he would eat right out of my hand. And you know, right, what I'm about to tell you? It's against all the rules. They tell you don't ever feed a raccoon that comes to your door. He'll bring all the raccoons in the house. Circus Magazine was the real one. Yeah, it was Circus Magazine. Thank you, Raj. Arlene, did I ever tell you that? Did you know that your husband used to be the hippest musical mind in Watchung Hills Regional High School, other than me? Mike Frost, you probably went to Plainfield High, didn't you? And you were probably the hippest musical mind in that school. Garbo was sitting there looking at me. And, you know, the temptation was so great to feed him. But they say he'll bring back his whole family. And not only that, they'll find a way into your house. They will find a crack. And they say pregnant moms love to give birth. Are you ready for this? Inside a chimney. They climb up and get in your chimney? Who knew? So I got my Sunburst Les Paul. It's a 93, I believe. And I'm just going to warm up with a little blues for you. Well, I'm drifting like a ship out on the sea. Drifting and drifting, yeah, like a ship out on the sea, yeah. I ain't got no sweet woman in this world to care for me. If my baby would only take me back again. If my baby, yeah, would only take me back again. I'd feel much better, darling, and at least I'd have a friend. I'm gonna play the blues. Well, I'm drifting, yeah, like a ship out on the sea. Drifting and drifting, like a ship out on the sea. I ain't got no sweet woman, yeah, in this world who care for me. I'm gonna play this guitar now. Okay, that's the way we roll here. We warm up sometimes with the blues. As you noticed, I cast away my pick near the end there and wanted to play just with my fingers as a tribute to J.J. Cale. That's the way he plays. And Neil Young was recently quoted as saying that J.J. Cale is one of his all-time favorite players, and he said he's got a touch that's just indescribable, and that's the touch that he has. The touch is he plays with his fingers in the same way that Mark Knopfler plays with his fingers. Thank you, Arlene. That's a blues. Thanks, Mike. Jim and Paula are in the house, and they're applauding in the emoji style. And I always appreciate that. Jim is producing a gig for me in the sense that he is the guy who runs this great concert series down at the Jersey Shore. This is going to kind of be a little drop off in sound from the last song, but so I'm playing Tuesday, July 5th in Ocean Grove on the boardwalk. I'm looking forward to it greatly. Haven't played a lot for an audience, a couple of times only in the last few months. So I'm going to do my new song that day. I'm going to do my new song for you tonight. And I'm going to play my Donna Loprinzi built ukulele, built in Florida. Let me play around with this for a while. Liv Taylor and I were discussing the great composers, and we both love melodies, so we have melodies that we love. He loves this song by Roger Nichols called The Times of Our Lives, which was recorded by Paul Anka. Again, just like We've Only Just Begun. Oh, Roger Nichols also wrote Rainy Days and Mondays. What a beautiful melody. Like the bank commercial that was We've Only Just Begun, The Times of Our Lives was a Kodak commercial. And Paul Anka, heard it and said, finish that song and I'll record it. And it's a beautiful melody, and it's actually Livingston Taylor's all-time favorite melody. Are you ready for that? Here's a guy who has schooled himself in the Great American Songbook, the classic composers, and he loves all of them. I think his second favorite song might be The Street Where You Live from My Fair Lady. But The Times of Our Lives by Roger Nichols, and he was stunned. Oh, good. Oh, I love it when somebody is listening on good speakers. But then again, I love it on earbuds too. But Mike, I'm glad to hear that. So this little baby, this concert-size uke, is one of the nicest, woodiest sounds that I've got. Don't you love that little crazy thing that I do? Okay. Thank you, Donald Loprinzi, for building this great uke. All right. That's a song my grandfather used to play on the uke. 5'2". That was my mother's second favorite song of all time. Her favorite song was Hard-Hearted Hannah, the Vamp of Savannah, GA. And her favorite line, as some of you know, her all-time favorite line from a song was, "An evening spent with Hannah sitting on your knees is like walking through Alaska in your BVDs." And all my life, I'm trying to win her heart with these sensitive little folky songs. And did I know that she liked that kind of deal? Hey, Joy is here. Joy, I have a song for you tonight. Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. That's an all mahogany. I'm a big proponent of mahogany in a uke, just like the great old vaudeville ukes. I am a naysayer about koa. I don't like the sound of koa that much. It's dull sounding to me. So what I have for Joy tonight and for all of you is I'm going to do a James Taylor song in a minute. But before I do, I'll tell you what I told his brother a couple of hours ago. I said, Liv, check out this song by Roger Nichols. You love The Times of Our Lives. That's his all-time favorite melody, remember? And I said, check out this song that he wrote called I Never Had It So Good. Have you ever heard of it? And he said, no, I never heard it. I said, okay, well, it was written by Roger Nichols and Paul Williams. And the best version, and I'll tell you guys the same thing, the best version of it, there's a lot of versions out there, or at least a decent amount. But the nicest version is a duet by Rita Coolidge and her then lover, Chris Christopherson. They did a beautiful job on it. I'm going to sing it for you now. It's kind of an overlooked classic in a way, and it goes like this. I never had much money. I never won no race. My jokes don't turn out funny. And I've had doors slammed in my face. Think you've charmed me. I always hoped that someone would. I never had a love like this before, no, and I never had it so good. Not the kind who's trusted, always tripping over laws, and often I've been busted and chased by friendly dogs. But I think you've charmed me. always hoped that someone would. I never had a love like this before, no, no. And I've never had it so good. I think you've charmed me. I always hoped that someone would. I never had a love like this before, no, no. And I never had it so good. I never had a love like this before, no, no. And I've never had it so good. I want that to come out on Mike and Nancy's speakers, those harmonics. Mike, we went to Cook School together on Leland Avenue in Plainfield. And as Mike well knows, we were the first class where busing took place. So they bused the kids from the poor side of Plainfield, so to speak. And hi, Phil. Thanks. I appreciate that. And they bused. I don't know. Our classes were 40% black when I was in 5th grade. And then in 6th grade, we were bused all the way across town to Washington School. And it was a difficult time in some ways. I'm going to do a James Taylor song now for Joy and for Jim and Paula. And the idea behind this is that this is one of the most overlooked of James Taylor's songs, I believe. I think it's one of his old-time classics. These strings are getting old. Let me see what I can do with this. But before I do, let me finish this story. 5th grade is before you're really aware of racial differences, etc. And we were all friends. We had great friendships in 5th grade from our classmates. And my mom, Roxanne Murgott, she volunteered to be one of the parents on a school trip, a class trip. And we went, I believe this trip was to the zoo. Mike, did you go to that? Nancy, I don't know what that means. Everybody is seeing the comments but you, so I'm not sure how to fix that for you. On the way home from the Bronx Zoo, was that what it was? everybody on the bus, led mostly by the black kids in the back of the bus, we all sang at the top of our lungs. My mother was in heaven, and I think it was Darnell Barksdale was standing up in the aisle of the bus and taking the lead on Blue, Navy Blue, I'm as blue as, and the harmonies were incredible. And then we sang Go Into the Chapel, and that came out, 50 years ago or so, and it was in the top. It was number one. The Dixie Cups went to number one with that song. If you haven't heard it, I can't play it. I can't do justice to it, but I recommend checking it out. Here's James Taylor's beautiful song to his daughter Sally when he was on the road. And have much to say, but I'd call you up anyway, just to try to show you the way that I feel today. I miss you, baby, I sure am on the road. I don't need to say much more, just the same old well-known stranger that I was before. It seems like a dream to me now. Daddy's all gone, he's just halfway home. He's holding on to the telephone, saying, please don't make the show go on. There's a bus every other hour, there's even a midnight train. That don't give me the power to see your face again. It's not that simple, no. You see, there's a room full of smiling faces. There's a man standing by the door. Said we're bound to trade our places and get down on the floor and kill him, baby. Daddy's all gone, he's just halfway home. He's holding on to the microphone, singing, please don't make the show go on. You know what you're thinking? If you're in my shoes, in my seat, you're thinking, as Livingston Taylor has taught me, you're thinking, please, Lord, let me just stick the dismount on this song. You know what the most important part of an entire song is, right? The last 3 seconds. If you don't get the ending right, you basically negate everything that came before. So if I had just done that song and at the end then went, you'd be, what? What just happened there? We thought it was a good version until that moment. Now, I'm going to sing my new song. I debuted it this week on Facebook as a standalone unlisted recording that I made just for you guys. Some of you saw it and commented, and it was greatly appreciated, those comments. But I also played it at church last Sunday for Sue Kozlik and my friends at Trinity Church in Warren, New Jersey. And if you want to hear something really scary, I delivered the sermon last Sunday. As strange as that sounds. So I've often longed to write a song in a Van Morrison feel. This is really vexing me now. And the temperature's going up in here. So it's not good enough for my new song. I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to playing this for you, but I'm not going to play it on that diva of a Martin. By the way, I named my guitars just like I named the raccoon Garbo. Well, Annie named it Garbo. And I have some very big news about that. I have a children's book coming out this summer, and it's been in the works for a long time. There we go. All right, this Santa Cruz won't let you down. And the name of my book is Garbo Speaks. So we've had the name Garbo for a while. I'm going to play you this new song. Let me know what you think of it. Oh, good. Thanks, Raj. Wait a minute. Do you mean you watched the church service or you watched the song? What the heck? If you watched the church service, you really did go above and beyond the call of duty there. So I did this song, and I'm already formulating plans to write it, to record it, I mean. And it's called Peace in the Middle of the Storm, and I think it's a song for our time. So let me play it for you now. This Sunday morning, I took a little ride downtown. I was up all night and I needed to walk around. And I heard music out there on the street. From a church's open window, voices clear and sweet, and they were singing peace in the middle middle of the storm. And every word they sang rang true. They sang, God will give you peace in the middle of the storm. So I sat in the back row and I made up my mind. And after years of searching, this is what I had hoped to find. The world's gone crazy. It's all out of control. And though the storm is raging, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. And they were singing peace in the middle of the storm. And every word they sang rang true. They sang, God will give you peace in the middle of the storm. There is a Savior who will throw you a lifeline when you're sinking in the waves. There is no other name given under heaven who can save like Jesus saves. Yeah. Peace in the middle of the storm. And every word they sang rang true. They sang, God will give you peace in the middle of the storm. They sang, God will give you peace in the middle of the storm, yeah. Thank you, friends. I hear you saying amen across the miles and through the electronics. Thanks to my lifelong friend Steve Philp for his encouragement on that song, and for Fred Holman, who was here a couple of weeks ago in the kitchen and told some great stories, played some great bass parts. And he has volunteered to come back someday, so that's good news. That's good news. I might do another little bit of a ukulele song here. I also understand the equation that you guys like stories, so I'm going to tell you another one. I've got a song that is an old song that I've never played for anybody. That's weird. Actually, the only people I played it for, I think I played it at my brother-in-law Scott Orthy's house one time. I'm going to throw this in this case and see if it fits. It does not. Okay, so let's see. Eli was famous for his Eliisms there for a while. And we had many adventures in his first 5 years as we drove around together. And one time I was getting him psyched up because I was going to go through the car wash in New Hope. And that was when you could ride through it. You can't ride through it anymore. And so he was like 3, maybe even 2.5. He was just talking. Could barely put together a sentence. But I was psyching him up because I didn't want him to be scared in this onslaught of water and things hitting the car and all this. So I said, this is going to be fun. You're going to love this. This is like a ride, you know. And he's back there not saying anything. He's like, whatever. And then we get in, and in the first 5 seconds of driving into the car wash, I hear from the back seat in a Swedish accent, I don't like it. Uh-oh. I was like, what? I don't like it. I'm like, well, we're kind of in there now. We can't get... he was fine. He didn't cry. He didn't freak out. And so it all turned out all right. But I have another story about him for you. And that is that the first time he ever sang in public was at a Christian coffee house called Karen's Place. Jim Winder has played there. And I got Eli up on the stage, which was about this high. It was about a foot high stage. Jenny's here. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Steve. Paula gave me a thumbs up. Mike is still here. I'm so glad, listening on good speakers. Mike, did you go on that class trip? Does it ring a bell at all that we went to the zoo in an early grade from Cook School? Well, don't worry. Don't tax your brain too much about it. I'm kind of insecure about this song. It's one of mine. It's on my last record. When I'm asleep. Before I tell the story, now that I got you on the edge of your seats, but I'll play this little song that I wrote as a tribute to the great old vaudeville songs. When I'm asleep, I don't see Meryl Streep. I'm always dreaming of you. I long to turn in so the show can begin. I'm always dreaming of you. Each night I pray that I'll wake up someday and the hope of my dream will come true. Then happy we'll be and you'll say just like me, I'm always dreaming of you. Each night I pray that I'll wake up someday and the hope of my dream will come true. So turn out the light, every night's a good night. I'm always dreaming of you. I'm always dreaming of you. Okay, I did get through it. I remembered it. Win-win. Win-win. I don't think you're going to hear that many songs that name check Meryl Streep, who grew up in the town next to where I went to high school, Watchung, and she was a waitress at the New Providence Diner, whatever that was called. If anybody knows, Steve Philp will probably be watching this tomorrow, and he'll know, and he'll be champing at the bit to tell us the New Providence Diner was it called the Frontier, maybe? Anyway, Meryl Streep was a waitress there. She was a cheerleader. She was all on the road already to be popular. Although I doubt if anybody could have ever imagined. Let's find out. Alexa, how many times has Meryl Streep been nominated for an Oscar?
Meryl Streep has been nominated for a total of 21 Oscars. Her most recent Oscar nomination was in 2018 for Best Actress.
Nominated 21 times for an Oscar? Alexa, how many Oscars has Meryl Streep won?
Meryl Streep has won 3 Oscars out of the 21 nominations she has received. Her latest Oscar nomination was in 2018 for Best Actress.
Unfriggin' believable. I guess if you are nominated 21 times, you might say you got something going on there in the acting department. Okay, I'm jumping around on different instruments. This is my classical guitar, and a Rodriguez built in Spain, left to me really after my uncle Mike Kuhn was killed in a plane crash. Here's a bluesy, crazy little thing that I wrote, I don't know, about 5 years ago, and it just hasn't found its place in the world yet. And like I said, I've only played it once, and I played it for 2 people. Let me know what you think of it. It's called I'm Not Gonna Be Your Fool Anymore. Wonder where I've gone now. You're a bigger fool than me. You've been out there for so long, you can't hear and you can't see. But breaking someone's heart can be the closing of a door. I wrote this note to tell you I'm not gonna be your fool anymore. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not trying to rein you in. I don't wonder where you've gone, and I don't care where you've been. It's really not about you. I'm not trying to even any score. But it's time for me to move on now. I'm not gonna be your fool anymore, yeah. Here is where I make my stand for myself, baby. I'm not gonna let some fool drag me down. They say it's a new day, and the old rules don't apply. If you love someone, set them free and give them wings to fly. But disrespect's a downward spiral, and I've seen it all before. So goodbye and thanks for nothing. I'm not gonna be your fool anymore. No. Another guitar that's suffering from a little bit of heat prostration. My uncle's old classical. The story, and then a song by Paul McCartney, who played last night in New Jersey, and incredibly, we're talking about his 80th birthday is tomorrow, and he did a 2-hour and 55-minute show last night at the age of 80. I mean, I think we're talking supernatural at this point. It's not about diet and exercise. It's about being touched by the Almighty there, in the sense of good health. Paul had Bruce Springsteen come up, and then John Bon Jovi sang Happy Birthday to him with 50,000 people singing along. This is not the way we expected 80 to look when I was a kid growing up. And I'm going to do a song that you do not hear often by Paul McCartney. So here's the story. And we're already closing in on having to say goodnight. I'm amazed how quickly tonight went. Thank you all for listening. God bless you. If you'd like to support this endeavor, and I would greatly appreciate it, there's a tip jar located up top if you scroll up. And also, it's even, the link is in the comments too, the PayPal link. And I'd appreciate that. Thank you in advance. Eli was, I don't know, maybe 4. And we're playing this Christian coffee house. And I said, do you want to sing Jesus Loves Me tonight? And he was like, okay. So he comes up on stage and got the microphone like this. Jesus loves me, this I know. I have to stop for a minute and say hi to Denise. That was fast. Hi, Joy. Thank you. You're welcome, Joy. I'm glad to have you in the house, so to speak. Yeah, it's in there somewhere. I don't even remember what grade that was, Mike. At Cook School. Let me finish this, okay? So he's up there, Jesus loves me, this I know, distorting the speakers, etc. Right in the middle of the song, he falls off the stage, careens into the audience. He's underneath tables, banging his head. There's drinks flying off the table. People are gasping. Oh, and oh no, did he hurt himself? And the next thing I know, he's back on stage. For the Bible tells me so. So he finishes the song to a resounding round of applause. And then we're driving home. He's in the back seat, Annie's in the front. And I'm just trying to check him for trauma, and make sure he's not traumatized for the rest of his life and that he'll sing again. And I said, so how do you think it went tonight? He's 4. He's in the back seat of my PT Cruiser, and he says, okay, I guess. And then I said, well, did you enjoy yourself? He's like, I guess. And then I said, well, what was your favorite part about the whole thing? And he said, when I fell off the stage. You see, when I fall off the stage, it kind of ruins my night. But when you're 4 and you're a boy and you fall off the stage, you might just call that the best part of the night. A tribute to the great Paul McCartney. I've played Blackbird many times on the show, but now I'm going to play this song for you, and it'll be the last song tonight. Thanks for checking in with me. God bless you all. Have a great rest of your weekend. Happy Father's Day. This is a song called Blueberry. Late at night, when the wind is still, I'll come knocking at your door, and you'll know what love is for. I'm a bluebird, I'm a bluebird, I'm a bluebird, I'm a bluebird, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a bluebird, I'm a bluebird, I'm a bluebird, yeah. Touch your lips with a magic kiss, and you'll be a bluebird too. And you'll know what love can do. I'm a bluebird, I'm a bluebird, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a bluebird, yeah, yeah, yeah. Bluebird, oh, bluebird, bluebird, oh, bluebird, ooh, yeah. Bluebird, oh, bluebird, oh, bluebird, bluebird. Have a great night, a good weekend, and a happy Father's Day, and Lord willing, I'll see you next Friday night.